Well, it is Wednesday, and I am back in the office. I was in Delaware County, Pennsylvania this morning, seeing a client and representing a client at a preliminary hearing. Back in the office in Morristown, New Jersey, in the afternoon session, assisting clients for some consultations here. Tomorrow, I'll be in Philadelphia, and then on Friday, be back in Cape May County for a matter there. So, a busy week as always for our law firm in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Came out with a blog article today regarding what happened to in Alabama involving the former University of Alabama basketball star Darius Miles. He has been charged in connection with an alleged shooting that occurred there. He didn't fire the weapon, but he allegedly gave the gun to the alleged shooter. And another player who was not charged, Brandon Miller, it is alleged in the preliminary hearing testimony that he gave Miles the weapon, who then gave it to the shooter. Now, Mr. Miller hasn't been charged, but I put up a blog article to show the differences between the laws in Pennsylvania and New Jersey and Alabama. Now, in Alabama, Mr. Miles had a preliminary hearing with his co-defendant. He was ordered held for trial. He was ordered held without bail. Now, I heard that his lawyer filed a motion for bail, but he's charged with murder. So at least how it is in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, if you're charged with a crime where you face a potential life sentence, you are not eligible for bail. It appears that isn't the case in Alabama. So they made a bail application. It was denied by the judge, even though Mr. Miles has no prior criminal history. I would have to think that it would be a really tough presumption to get over in Alabama, and I'm not surprised that the judge denied the bail. Now, with regards to the case, he had a preliminary hearing. The matter was held for trial. Doesn't mean he's guilty of anything, much like in Pennsylvania. A preliminary hearing, everyone knows from my previous blogs and videos, is not a finding of guilt. It is a probable cause standard. It is a more probable than not standard, what we call the prima facie case. So more probable than not that a crime occurred, and the person being accused of it did it. So again, that's not proof beyond a reasonable doubt, but enough that a judge or jury could find guilty of this particular crime, a very serious crime. Now, from here in Alabama, the case moves to a grand jury, which is kind of the system we have in New Jersey, where people get into a room and they decide by a majority whether or not the person should be held for trial in this matter. Then it'll proceed to a trial, and that's where the prosecution by the burden of proof case beyond a reasonable doubt. In New Jersey, there is no preliminary hearing system, but we have a probable cause hearing when we have detention hearings, and those two things are usually held together, and the defense can concede probable cause. In many cases, we do not, but it just shows the similarities between Alabama, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Now, in Alabama, unlike New Jersey, there's a pretty liberal gun law. You don't need a permit to buy a gun, much like in Pennsylvania. In New Jersey, you need a purchase permit to even own a handgun in New Jersey or any firearm. In Alabama, they recently changed the law where you no longer need a permit to conceal carry. So now if you buy a gun in Alabama, you can just conceal carry. There is no special permit required. Unlike Pennsylvania, where to carry a gun outside of your home or place of business, you need a permit to carry, and that is issued by either the state police or the chief of police if you're living in Philadelphia. So it shows the difference between the laws in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Alabama. Now, in New Jersey, there is a permit to carry, but virtually impossible to get. Everyone knows that from my previous blogs and videos that you can make an application for a permit, but more than likely you won't be granted one. You have to show a need for it, usually a concern for your personal safety. In addition, you need court approval. And in most situations, unless you're in some type of security job, you're not going to be given that permit to carry in the Garden State. If you have questions about gun laws in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, 215-755-9000 in Pennsylvania, 856-793-7429 in New Jersey, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Website, GamboneLaw.com. As always, a tremendous resource for your family. All of my books, my blogs, my videos are available there in one convenient format. I'm going to link in the blog article that I wrote on Darius Miles. Now, there was some talk in the media as to why Brandon Miller is still on the team. He hasn't been charged with anything, but people have asked why he's still on the team. Well, Mr. Miller hasn't committed any crime. And quite frankly, he was asked to bring the gun by Mr. Miles, and Mr. Miles was the legal owner of the gun. Mr. Miller didn't commit any crime, and there's no evidence that Mr. Miller knew that Miles was going to hand the gun to the alleged shooter. So, I mean, quite frankly, there is nothing to charge Brandon Miller with, and because he wasn't charged with the crime, because he simply gave someone their legal firearm. I mean, there is no misconduct here. Now, if you want to make a story about the fact that you don't think it was right that he gave the gun to him, but again, no crime. There is nothing here to indicate any nefarious intent on the part of Mr. Miles that Mr. Miller knew about. Their teammates. We don't know what conversation was said between Miles and Miller. Miles might have told Miller, "Look, I'm scared. I would like to have my gun. Can you bring it to me?" Miller simply did his friend a favor, and nothing wrong with it. No crime was committed, and therefore, I don't believe he should be suspended from school, and especially don't believe he should face any type of criminal prosecution because, again, there was no indication he knew anything was going to happen other than Miles taking possession of the gun from Miller, which is exactly what he did. But again, if you have questions regarding the gun crimes, gun laws in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, 215-755-9000 in Pennsylvania, 856-793-7429 in New Jersey, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, website gambonelaw.com. Have a great Wednesday, and I'll talk to you all very soon.